Hey girl, my name is Anwar White. I'm a dating coach for Black and brown women, and I've been a dating coach for 14 years. And I wanted to share with you what the top, mid, and bottom cities are to date in as a Black woman based on my experience. So let's get into it. So the bottom cities, number 5, Phoenix. Girl, Phoenix is very racist, and the Black men they are with the white women, the Hispanic women, and even the Native girls on the reservation. So Phoenix, number 5. Number 4, Miami. Girl, there's no Black middle class in Florida, and especially in Miami. The Cubans are not checking for Black women, unfortunately, and the Haitians are very tricky to date, and I'm being diplomatic. Number 3, LA. Lots of colorism, very much into the Eurocentric look, so a lot of the Black men are just really focused on lighter skin and Hispanic and white women. And then also California is actually quite racist, and there's only like 5% of the state that is Black, and so you have very few people to consider in your consideration set while you're dating in LA, which makes it really hard. Number 2, Houston. Houston is a great up-and-coming city, but it's very difficult to date there because, one, there's not a lot of men of color that are in the middle class. So you have guys that are in tech, doctors, real estate, oil, and then you have guys that are on the poverty line. And so it's hard to really date. And because there's so few of them at the top, they think that they're the prize. You have a lot of also guys that have come from DC and Atlanta who think that they're hot shit and they couldn't stack up well there. So they come to Houston to get their life, right? And so a lot of guys in Houston think that they're the prize. Also, you got a lot of Nigerians there, and Nigerians are also very tricky to date, and I'm being very diplomatic there as well. So that's number 2. Number 1, ATL. ATL is the most difficult city to date in. When a woman tells me that she is an ATL, I say RIP. And I say that because you have a huge gender ratio gap there, which means that for every 6 to 8 Black women that are ready for a relationship, you have 1 Black man. So you have all of these women chasing these men, and they don't have to settle down. They don't even have to treat you well. And I think many of you all see that if you live in ATL. The other reason is you got a lot of men that are just focused on poly relationships because of that gender ratio gap. And then you have a lot of DL and gay guys that are there, which makes dating very tricky and oftentimes dangerous. So those are the bottom cities for Black women to date in. The mid cities are cities that I think have great high quality relationship ready men, but men are focused on their career and not focused on much anything else, and will settle down later on in life. So those men are in DC proper, New York men, and men in Chicago. Now for Chicago and New York, the thing that makes things so difficult in those cities is because there's so many men there that it can actually be a very frustrating experience to date because you have to go through a lot of different guys, which means a lot of different disappointments to get to your person. And that's why those cities are mid-tier. And finally, the top cities, the cities that I actually love if you're a Black woman there. I know that you're going to get your guy in 6 to 9 months versus twice as long. 1, MV, not DMV, MV, Maryland and Virginia. If you're in those areas, you're in a great position to find your person, right? You have men that are up and coming, that are stable in their career, that are very diverse areas, that are really checking for Black women in a significant way. And then secondly, the research triangle. So Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill, if you're in that area, very educated, men that are stable in their careers, looking to settle down. If you're in those 2 areas, you're in a good place to get your guy and get your life, girl, no shade. So let me know what you think about this list, and if you need help with this, I can definitely help you out. But